Welcome to Bizavjets USA Magazine interview with Ronald Ingram, Neobanx Executive Chairman. Eli Stepp here with Bizavjets USA Magazine. I am with Ronald Ingram, the founder of Neobanx, and much more. So, Ron, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Eli. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
That's too bad. We very much appreciate it. So, Ron, could you give me about a 2 minute in a nutshell about yourself?
Sure. So I have been in the banking space and an innovator, creator in banking innovations primarily, but also artificial intelligence. Launched my first artificial intelligence 22 years ago, a project called Budabots, where I had the very set my sights pretty low. Just aiming to uncover the hidden mysteries of nature and science. Nothing too ambitious at all. Just kidding. But truly, it was quite an ambitious project, and learned a tremendous amount from that. So that has been a guiding force, sort of waiting for the technology to catch up. I had a glimpse and helped sort of pioneer some of what the possibilities were, and so that's led me to this moment. Also, in the banking side, I've also been an innovator and creator on the banking side too, in traditional banking, large banks, small banks, as a bank owner in
Mhm.
Iowa, 75-year-old bank, and now also I think the first banker possibly to launch a crypto.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. That's quite interesting. So, and I want to go into that in detail a little bit, but I'd like to ask you're touching in business aviation. Have you flown private before? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, this might surprise you. I have a profound appreciation for air travel, in particular in comfort,
Yeah.
and it goes beyond just the. It really is like almost a. I want to tie it to like a theory that I have that a lot of the great thinkers have had their best insights at high elevations. I mean, think about it, right?
Yeah.
You're the sometimes Tibet is considered to be the spiritual chakra of the planet, right? Why?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the elevation, right? Your elites in Amazon, they Machu Picchu, right? Where did they build their capital? On top of a mountain? That's not very
Yeah.
practical, but maybe they were dialing into something that also all of your mystics, sages, prophets, throughout history they always go up to the mountaintop to find their
Sure.
insight and enlightenment. So uh, I actually have had some of my best ideas have come to me, or I've gotten more clarity about
Yeah.
ideas while I'm traveling in quiet, at high elevation, in
Yeah.
comfort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially, you don't want to be crowded into a tight little spot, into a tight little space, but and also when you arrive flying privately, so all of those things combined, I'm a big fan, and even have a few designs of my own that I might want to. As an inventor, I have a very diverse interest, so I even have a couple of plans in the works that I haven't I only keep in notebooks because they're so secret.
Yeah.
Like what I would call it aerospace designs.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan. So we didn't you probably didn't know that when you first met me, but it's not just a passing interest. I think it's a quite a, I think if I could put it in a quote, I'd say perhaps elevation equals inspiration, or the other way around.
Well, we in business aviation appreciate your insight about that. And a lot of people don't know that, most private flyers work for companies. 80% of those people are working 12-hour days and they get home the same day. It's really a tool. And,
Yep.
and your elevation comment is well founded because usually your cabin altitude, although you're at 35,000 feet, the cabin, you're about at 8,500. So you're at a
Yeah.
high elevation like you're at the top of a mountain. So that's well founded. I appreciate your insight about that.
Yep.
So, well, I really want to learn more about some of the things that you do at Neobanx. And
Hmm.
as you know, I kind of wrote down some notes and tried to become somewhat educated so we could talk about it. But we'll start with BROK, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
And I understand BROK is Neobanx's super genius robo private banker. Can you add to that, please?
Yeah, that's the colloquial way of putting it, a kind of a fun way to frame it. I think more conservatively it would be more relatably maybe it would you could call it a digital financial assistant, but that really doesn't do it justice. Brock is designed to assist with all aspects of operations and accounting and finance and everything that a banker would need to operate a bank from the perspective of a bank owner or president. Like I am the president of a bank holding company and chairman of a bank and owner of a bank, and so I actually designed Brock originally primarily for kind of combining my expertise in AI engineering to do something really special for bankers who, they've got a tough job. They have to do underwrite loans and they'd really much prefer, I think, to spend more time on the golf course, right, than in the office
Yeah, of
crossing
course.
T crossing T's and dotting I's. So I made it simpler and simpler and simpler for bankers to do their job, to approve loans at the basic end, but also like for boards to evaluate all the different in this age of
Mhm.
complexity. I call it the singularity economy. Others have as well, where everything is moving so quickly. How do you navigate all of that, right? So Brock is able to assist with that as well. You could ask Chat GP run of the mill generic muster in a highly regulated industry. In aviation, high as a highly regulated industry, that there you have to have a framework for decision making and banking. Otherwise, you'll run afoul of the regulators. So I designed a system to create what it's very simple, really explainable AI. So not only getting advice, direction, assistance from the AI, but getting it in an explainable format where complicated information, real-time information, inputs, looking at a bank's policies and procedures, and not just banks. This could be for any company. And really, I think one of the nearest or next use cases I want to look at is for veterans. That's something which is something that I know you're passionate about as
Yeah, I
well.
appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
get into that in a second if you want. But because yeah, I made AI so simple, or I made made banker's job so simple that anyone could do it. A child could do it. And then I got the idea, let's make this available to everybody, sort of
Yeah.
level the playing field so that every business, small business owner, medium, large business owner can go into a boardroom, go into a meeting with their banker, with their financing experts, with a venture capital firm, with the investment bankers before they go public or during the process, and have expert advice, like really top-notch, genius level assistance, right? And you can't say it's not certified and nothing is, anything that's coming out of the AI. We have to clearly state that, it can't give accounting advice, legal advice, any advice on a certifiable level, but it can give you genius advice. And it really has that level of capability, and it's live now. So a lot of people are talking about all of this industry and what's coming with AI. We're shipping it right now. It went live on July 24th. And by the time readers are reading this, I'm iterating and expanding every day. Yesterday, I added 16 languages. So now
Wow.
it speaks Chinese. And it's funny because if you turn on the voice, like you can speak to it, you can do hands free you can communicate with Brock hands free. and in voice, and it clones my voice. So it's really, I got to hear myself speaking Chinese for the first time yesterday. It was pretty cool. But here's another use case. So for veterans, first off, or people that have ever had an interest in starting a business,
Mhm.
it helps them to start a business and have the output equivalent to dozens of people. The goal is for BROK to deliver the equivalency of 100 average people in terms of their output. And this isn't
Mhm.
displacing jobs. This is allowing people who have businesses or want to have businesses to get into business or expand their business with tremendous efficiency. So and this is happening. This is cutting edge, right? Another thing, and this is again the advantage of elevation. And I'm a huge proponent of business in Vegas as well, because and I've got this Vegas banking zone that I'm
Mhm.
a proponent of to so that we can become Monaco West. And the innovation though that I'm bringing in AI is second to none, right? So it's, I think in the coastal areas you have lots of innovation because of collisions, just because you have this density of people, of smart people colliding in these congested areas. In the desert, the high desert, it clears your mind, just like being in a plane flying. It clears your mind, it gives you perspective and allows you to see things differently. And I'm an innovator, I'm an inventor, I have multiple patents. And so that's kind of, I like to get out. So I have a track record of being ahead of the curve. I don't like to be, I don't like to be in the herd. I like to be ahead of the herd. So I think we're going to attract more and more people like that, because with AI, you don't need that congestion, that density of people. You can be alone with your own ideas and have access to the whole world of information beyond the internet, but now intelligence as well, like best engineering, best banking, all of this advice, you can have it with you here in the high desert. So that's a long-winded answer, but something I'm passionate about. So in a nutshell, BROK is a sovereign multi-agent artificial intelligence banker that provides explainable, automated business banking and operations end to end.
Well, it was a great answer. It wasn't too long either.
Okay,
But
good.
let me try to uh, read that back. In a
Sure.
nutshell, it is for the common person that doesn't know, that has gotten on with AI. They've either used, ChatGPT or Perplexity or something like that.
Yep.
It sounds like to me Brock is that plus more because it's tuned into banking and business.
Yeah,
And
that's a good way of saying it. Mhm.
and with that, so if I explained that to somebody and said, "Hey, you got to check this out. It's better than the AI that's out there, and it can do a lot for you from a business and banking perspective." Would that be correct?
Yep, that would be correct. And also for the elite business people, because I tell you, one of the first things that I wanted to have access to beyond, like, and after I automated the difficult parts of banking, and still we have the human element, right? So I have this part of BROK is what I call the Ingram evaluation matrix, which takes all complicated information, boils it down into four immutable categories with all these subcategories under it, right? So any complicated decision, high stakes decision in business and in banking, it was designed for bankers in particular, but bankers bank every kind of business that you can imagine generally has a bank, right? So bankers have to be generalists in business. So, but a generalist in business is not a generalist in everything. So your chat GPT and most of your models, they're like a grid. They're like a utility almost now. They're very generic. They cover everything, and you can't be all things to all people. Whereas BROK is dialed into two areas primarily. Everything related to wealth. So that's business, banking, investment, accounting, finance, anything contracts, realtors are already using it. Serial entrepreneurs are using it to look at financials, to look at it, to do an analysis on a prospectus, mergers, acquisitions. So not just starting people, but from I say we, from the kitchen table to the boardroom, everybody that has a financial life, age of 15, would benefit. Speak about was the finance angles. I have often been disappointed in, would be a kind way of putting it, the advice provided by accountants and CFOs that I've had, and auditors. Imagine being able to, as CEO, business owners, speaking to business owners here, audit your auditor, audit your CFO without, and just, you can, and dial into, like, because in medium-sized and larger companies, people create these little silos, right? And sometimes CFOs and accountants are guilty of creating these little silos. They won't give you the full model. They won't give you the full picture. You have to ask and ask and ask. Now with BROK, you can have, for a large company, they can just have BROK do due diligence. And I say multi-agent because there actually are many agents that are specialized in wealth and everything to do with wealth. And BROK is your face, so you don't need to know all these different specialties. But BROK is your one point of contact, the one face and voice that you need to interact with. That's a pretty broad area. Like, business is pretty broad, but it's less broad than everything, which is what all the other models out there are trying to do. The only other thing I'll mention is that in addition to wealth, I have a health component, which is pretty unusual, but it's just I was going to build it for myself anyway because I'm a biohacker and I'm trying to reverse biological aging, like many others, a few others, and there's biohacking and not medical advice, but research and information that you can, starting out with you can put your blood work through BROK, and it'll give you your biological age according to the Levine method. It was a PhD that put together a model for looking at biomarkers that you can find from an independent lab research, LabCorp. Just take your standard labs, run it through. BROK will parse it for you and generate this report. Not medical advice. Give you the disclaimer there, but it'll tell you what biohackers would say your biological age is.
Well, listen, though, from what I understood when you were talking to me, not only does it have the business side and the personal side, and veterans can use it, we also have the health side where we can take a look at ourselves, and it's got information about that. And I understand it's not clinically validated, but it's very helpful for a person.
Yeah. You don't want your health to run out before your wealth, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
actually
health
the other way
is your
around.
wealth. Yeah.
You want to be able to live long enough to be able to enjoy your wealth, right?
Exactly. Amen.
It's
That's
not your
so true.
point otherwise. So it kind of goes together, but it seems ambitious.
Yeah.
But those are the two areas that BROK is specialized in. Mainly, the main thing in everything to do with business and banking, from the kitchen table to the boardroom, and any type of really any for businesses starting out. Also designed it for both of my parents were musicians, right? So I was like, I'm the rebel in the family, becoming a banker and an entrepreneur instead of picking up an instrument. But I still have a bit of that creative side in me. But I also saw that many artists and actors and models have difficulty finding representation. So this is a good tool for them to be able to have a second look, at least, at contracts and things that managers may get them to sign. We know that story all too well, right? So so it's and also all the scams, it's good defense for elderly folks. Could use it to and have all kinds of tools that are built into that as well. But anyway, it's pretty. It does a lot, but it's more successful at it because it's way more focused than any of the other models out there. So those are a couple of things. It's got patented tools, and also one last thing, it has persistence of memory, right? So anybody that spent a lot of time with AI models, they'll find out that the most models tend to forget. They compress the conversations that they get because they can't keep it all, right? In memory. So people that don't use it that much may not know that, but if you use it a lot, you'll start to bump up against this. So BROK, if you're a subscriber, you have it will remember, say, your tax returns from prior years, which is unique from a financial assistant.
Right. Yeah, wonderful. So, not only basically this is an AI that's smart, business-wise, it'll even, if you ask 15 questions, it'll give you a business analysis on one page. And now we got the help part of it. But what's exciting to me is the digital asset that you call POC, correct? And this
I call
part
it
is exciting to me.
Spock.
So,
I call it Spock,
please.
but it's technically POC. So you're exactly right. Yeah. It's more fun to say Spock though, right?
I like it. Let me try it out there. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, so now, instead of the average person going to one of the AI models, they can go to BROK and actually earn digital asset, per se. Is that correct?
Yeah. And so there's two big innovations here, maybe three, maybe more. But one is, so first off, it doesn't matter if you love crypto or you hate it, it's coming. And it's going to affect your business. And so you better be educated about it. Even if you're afraid of it, you better be educated about it. So, but I could understand if there's many people, many bankers included, probably 99% of bankers that haven't even touched crypto yet. And I can understand why, because 99 out of 100 in the meme coin space in particular are frankly scams. They are, shady operators. In general, like some really good, really good rule of thumb is if like for business people outside, in the regular business world, it is perplexing, and you should be perplexed. Like, who in their right mind would put money into something where you don't know who the founder is, you don't know who the management team is, and if all you've got is like a clown, behind it, face and an anonymous person or team behind it. That's crazy. And so this is the first crypto, like I say, I think that that I know of that is actually has a fully doxed. That means all of my documents disclosed. You know who I am. I'm putting my name on this crypto POC, or the ticker is $ in front of POC makes Spock. And so that gives it the meme part, which the meme side of things is actually just means something that's memorable, right? And that's just good marketing. But what does it do? In most cases, most of these utility coins and crypto coins and all these things other than Bitcoin, there's not really a good answer. And you're right to ask that question. Now, in our case, this crypto has real use. It's a little bit fun to have that. So it was catchy and that got that meme attention that coins get. But we're a real business with a real product with really advanced technology behind it. And that's all fueled. And so here's fueled by Spock. So here's a really cool thing. I think many of us have what's called subscription fatigue, right? We have signed up for so many things and you lose track. It's like, what is this account? What is this fee that's hitting my account every month? And you periodically have to go through, and it's really hard to keep track of. And it's actually a name for it, subscription fatigue, right? So now imagine this. Imagine instead of, pick something that you need, right? A subscription that you need. So your mobile service, for example, so AT&T or whatever, or cable service. Imagine that, so you get the top tier because you want to get all the good stuff, but you don't use half of it, right? And so you start to feel perplexed about this, like, gee, I'm wasting probably $50 a month out of my 150 month subscription because I'm not using those services. But you use it or you lose it. That's the way subscription models work up until now. What I've done, I don't know if this is just in the last few days, this is maybe new to you. I flipped this thing. So now when you get you buy Spock tokens, right? And that allows access to BROK, but it has value. It's a digital asset on its own, and it's scarce like Bitcoin, except it's like less than a penny, whereas Bitcoin is over $100,000. So you can buy Spock as a digital asset to use, hence the utility, right? It's like buying Starbucks dollars or for coffee or Target dollars, or Target gift cards that you could only use at Target, right? This is not the Spock tokens that you get. You can use them for all the Spock services like the Ingram valuation matrix, the blood tests, age testing, all of those different things that we talked about. There's more that we're adding all the time. You can use it for all of that. You can use it to send digital assets to anybody anywhere in the world instantly without any fees associated. And then you or whoever receives those digital assets, they're instantly fungible. That means you're instantly convertible into US dollars or into Bitcoin or anything that you want. So the subscription that you get, so if you sign up for a subscription, and we'll do I'll give you a link if you want for your readers that can use this special bonus or a discount. And they sign up and for a subscription, what they're getting is actually, so let's say they signed up for $50 or for $49 a month. If they're using BROK, they'll use up those tokens. If they don't use BROK for any reason, what that means is they're accumulating Spock, right? And so let's say they didn't use Spock at all for 3 months, they'd have accumulated $150 US worth of Spock, which can appreciate in value. I'm not saying it will. It's not a security, blah, 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 right? Yeah. It's not a security. This is not investment advice. But, we've seen this started with a market cap of around less than $100,000. Now the market cap is over 2 million. Who knows what it will be by October. And, but that means, any excess is that you're accumulating digital assets. You're accumulating. It'd be like if you didn't use all of your subscription services from cable or for whatever it was. It'd be like you got to accumulate what you didn't use. So you pay $150 for your cable and digital access, and you only use 50. So what if 100 carried over and 100 carried over, and it'd be almost like a savings account, right? Of tokens or of credits but that would be kind of useless because it'd just be in US dollars and you wouldn't be getting interest rate on it. Here, you're getting a digital asset. So your subscription, you understand what I'm saying? So this digital asset you're accumulating through a subscription that you can use for really valuable services. And if you don't use it, it potentially accrues in value and maybe even increases in value like digital assets are known to do. But it may no guarantees that it'll go up, right? But there's a lot more interesting than a normal subscription fee. So that's just a new model.
Yeah, let me see if I understand this right then. So your subscription base, it's say $10 a month.
Yeah.
And I will receive a certain amount of Spock for that. Yep. Correct. Now
whatever the market value is at that moment. Yep.
That understood. So, and then if I use your services, it uses some of that Spock up?
Yes.
Okay. So, but I could also buy extra Spock directly if I want as well, correct?
Yes, exactly. So for the first 60 days before we launched BROK, over 1,000 people around the world were buying Spock on like a meme coin, which doesn't have any utility, right? So a lot of people, they just buy these tokens on the hope that they will go up. In our case, it's more than a hope because there's real value there, right? So that was driving a lot of people. So a lot of people don't even use Spock. They're just buying the digital asset, and they may or may not use BROK in the future. I think they will, but and if they do use it, then they're likely going to. But yeah, so you can top up, you can buy, and this is another thing. Actually, it's very, very hard. So when I first launched this, I launched this I live in Anthem, and had my wife invited the ladies tennis team over. So I thought that would be a good test market to see like how people, what the community thought about this project. And they loved it. they were trepidatious about crypto, perhaps, but because they knew me and as someone that they trusted, they were always interested, but it was difficult. And when they first tried, it still was difficult because you have to go out and get what's called like a wallet or hard wallet, soft wallet. You have to go through know your customer and all kinds of invasive questions, just like opening a bank account, right? For a lot of these wallets that are out there. And it was a big barrier, but everyone persevered in this community. But I know a lot, well, not everyone. There were a few people, and that was quite unfortunate as a business owner. Imagine you have somebody that says, I love this idea. Here's my credit card. It's like, we couldn't take credit cards. So July 24th, or maybe, yeah, before July 24th, when I launched BROK, I also launched our own wallet. And it is the easiest crypto experience that there is in as far as I know, anywhere. Because it's just we have an advantage in that it's only focused on Spock. So there are other cryptos that have other parameters, and some of them might be securities, some of them might be cryptocurrencies. But we are just a pure digital asset as defined by the SEC and the CFTC. And there's memos and guidance that was published in March and April, right, which we have adhered to and followed. So Spock is essentially a digital asset, kind of think like an ebook, right? Anybody could buy an ebook on Amazon with their credit card, with a debit card, with ACH, with Apple Pay, with anything. Same thing with Spock. So now they can go to BROK.neobanx with an X.com, and I'll give you the link, with the a special code. Could be, I think I actually made one already. But they can just BIZAV or Bizavjets. So BROK.neobanx.com/bizav, and that'll give them a special link, and anybody who uses that link will give them an extra bonus. They can buy additional Spock and top up, and you just go in there and one click, you could just enter the amount that you can buy $10, you can buy $20, you can enter whatever amount that your credit card, whatever the limit is on your credit card, you could just boom, done. And if you've ever tried buying crypto before with the usual experience with wallets, that's been one of the huge barriers to adoption to crypto that we've just eliminated.
Okay, so let's say your average person does a subscription, and they're not using the service very much, and they've gained it, and a few months have gone by, and they say, I want to exchange this for US dollars. Where do I do that?
Yeah, then you need to connect one of the other wallets. There's many, many, many other wallets. Because then you will, and that's why we can just do the easy credit card buy. But so if you get you can ask BROK as well for any of these types of questions too. It's like, hey BROK, I want to convert.
Good idea.
You can see on the screen there's a button, and you put in an address that to allow you to in one click, boom, send so you can have USD in 10 seconds. Just enter the amount that you want to move, and you move it. Yeah, and if you already have a wallet. If you don't have a wallet, ask BROK, and BROK will tell you, Soulflare, Phantom, there's all kinds of different popular wallets out there. And you may have, or Coinbase, and Rand's adding new wallets all the time. So you will, Coinbase, gee, that's really, a lot of people have that.
That's what I was going to say. That's the most common one I know of.
Yeah, the government even uses Coinbase. So they even have FDIC insurance on their on US dollar deposits, I believe. So check out their disclaimers and all of that. But that's a good way to do it. So yeah, very easy now.
So it sounds like to me, I mean, I'm 66, so I'm a senior, and a lot of seniors are older, as well as younger people are afraid of crypto. You could say I'm subscribing to this service, and there's no risk because I can use the service, but if I don't, it could go up. So now it's a safer bet because you're actually getting something that you get to use. Because a lot of people are paying $20 a month for ChatGPT or something like that.
Exactly. I think we're less than ChatGPT. That may not be the case in October.
Ah,
It's a special discounted price right now. It's for very valuable services. Like I've been a consultant to at Gerson and Lerman Group for over 20 years now, advising
mhm,
venture capital, some of the largest banks in the world,
mhm,
and they
mhm.
pay me a lot, right? So that's another thing that you're getting with BROK, is what I call the Chiron Canon, just code name for all of my work. So my book, Neobank. You've ever given you one of these? I'll give you one if I have it. Neobank. That's my book.
I saw them there, but I didn't pick up a copy, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, so Neobank, Navigating the Future of Banking, that's available on Amazon. But that's also part of the canon of that's built into BROK's knowledge that no other model would have. Also,
Mhm,
my next book coming up, it's called Genius, Live Long and Prosper. That'll probably be out by October,
mhm,
and that is all in there, and thousands of pages of my research over the years, and all of that is stuff that's permanent though, because that's another, without getting into the engineering and how the product works, it has long-term and short-term and this whole a very sophisticated proprietary memory structure so that it can remember you, and you can develop evolve along with it, right? So yeah, but you're exactly right. Is there a risk to using Chat GPT for a retired person? Um, I'm not that I could think of, and BROK would be in that same component. It just so happens though that when you subscribe, you're getting tokens, and so rather than being like annoyed if you didn't use BROK, 3 months down the road, you might look at your balance,
yeah.
say, "Oh wow,
Yeah, I
I
see that as a plus.
changed
I
my
mean, you're getting
subscription."
something.
Yeah,
So, so when I say neobanks and
yep.
then BROK, is that an umbrella for BROK and the other services? Or do I understand BROK is an umbrella for the different things we're talking about?
Yeah. BROK is the face. It's sort of like the gateway for this whole,
Okay.
for what already exists, patented tools like the Ingram evaluation matrix that makes AI explainable so that,
Mhm.
because bankers can't, if a banker declines a loan and says the AI told me to, that doesn't fly very well with
Yeah, yeah,
regulators.
yeah.
They could get big fines, right? So regulators expect artificial intelligence. They actually expect bankers to use it, but
Mhm.
responsibly. And one of the key elements of responsibility is for decisions to be auditable, manageable, explainable. So that's what I built this for. And it may not be, the average person might just go along with whatever the AI tells them to do.
Sure.
I don't think that's right. So in this
Yeah.
case, I think the regulators have it right when they say that just like a banker should be able to explain why the AI did something and why they went along with it,
Yeah.
you should hold your AI accountable too. And with
Yeah.
BROK, you can do that. You could say why. You can say, give me an Ingram evaluation matrix on this opportunity. And it could be a big decision or it could be a small decision. And oh, by the way, so with $9, I think that would be like tens of thousands of tokens, right? And the
Yeah.
average service right now costs 2 tokens. So
Yeah.
it's almost free. It's just almost like a way of accounting method, a way of registering utilization. But if you're a subscriber, you're pretty well gonna. It's doubtful that you're going to use up all of your tokens,
Sure.
especially at the $49 level. And also the thing is, you get a higher level of intellect and memory with the subscription. But you don't
Yeah.
even have to subscribe, so that don't have to subscribe. You can just click on the link and start talking to BROK right away, and decide later if you want to subscribe or not.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Sounded kind of
So,
salesy, but
so
okay.
basically, to get to the face, and I'm going to spell this to make sure I got it, but it's
Yeah,
BROK, BROK dot NEOBANX.com. So that's
correct. Yeah.
BROK dot neobanks.com. And that's how
Yeah.
somebody would just get started. I could share
Yep.
that with them and say, now I'm signed on to the system, so
Yep.
if I have a link that I would gain um, digital asset because somebody else joined, do I have that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's really easy to uh, a gift or send Spock to somebody
Uh-huh.
else,
Uh-huh.
and I think you might even see merchants that want to do a value exchange. My landscaper actually wants to get paid in Spock now. uh,
That's a
uh,
smart
and-
man.
yeah, yeah, and
So,
so you can do that. You just click. There's one. You click on a button that says gift, and if you have their mobile number or a nickname, if you have their even just a nickname, and then you can generate a link. You could send it by WhatsApp, by text message, by email, anything, and they get a little link, and they click on that link, and boom, they're into Spock, and they can start or into BROK, and they can start talking right away, asking any questions that they want, and then subscribe from there. So they actually don't. You're not automatically subscribed, but you're automatically given access,
right.
and this will still probably be in effect in for a while. You'll get 100 free tokens. So it'd be actually,
Yeah.
it's almost like you're getting paid to try the system out.
Yeah.
Um, but and that's a temporary offer. So that may not be, Spock is going up a lot in value.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe calibrate that. So this is as of the time that we're recording this, but
Mhm.
we will probably have something going through, things like that going through to the end of the year.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, that's good. So if a person is signed up, they go in there, they can find a link to share with others.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Great.
very easy. Yeah, and they should do that.
Okay. Great.
Because that's
Um,
because to everybody needs to be educated on this, and this is you're getting educated in crypto.
yeah.
There's no better way to get educated than to actually participate, right? So here
Yeah.
you're participating in crypto, plus you're getting access to an
Yeah.
expert on crypto and investments and all of that kind of thing, as an assistant for
Well,
educational and research purposes, not for legal or investment advice.
well, I appreciate learning the different aspects because when I first saw it, I'll be honest with you, I just thought it was a crypto or a digital asset.
Yep.
I didn't know about the AI portion. I didn't know. So, which prompted
I
our meeting
think
today,
I
so this
think
is great.
I think that's because when we first met, BROK hadn't been launched yet. So,
Oh,
how
maybe
like
so.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of people, it was
Okay.
still in the pure crypto phase.
Yeah.
But that's something that worth pointing out because in this industry, like in the crypto space, so many people say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, in the future, I'm only starting to talk about BROK now because it is real. Whereas a lot of
Mm.
people would have been out there promoting it before it was real. I didn't
Yeah.
start promoting it until we launched it in July 24th when it
Uh-huh.
had all those features. But some people like yourself, you found out about it beforehand because we were
Yeah.
talking about something else, right?
Sure.
So,
Sure. Right. Right. Okay.
but we actually
Um,
delivered on our promises. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so we said we were going to launch like for about a month. That's time we're going to launch July 24th, 24th, 24th. I
yeah.
probably could have
Yeah.
launched a few days earlier, but
Yeah.
we, deliver on what we ship when we say we're going to ship.
Well, good for you. I'm totally impressed with your abilities, and not everybody has the skill levels you do, that's for sure. Is there anything that I haven't covered that you'd like to add?
Um, yeah, no, that's really good. And I think uh, maybe people might have a question, what is a neobank? So
Great
a
question. Yeah.
neobank is just it's a really simple thing. So that's starting by word that's starting to be used more and more. I actually coined the term so in back in 2000 or so, and it's become a thing now. It's become a verb and a noun. But a neobank, the way I envisioned it was a digital banking basically, and the way what it's come to mean now in popular usage is simply digital banking, whether it's from a financial technology company that partners with a bank, or so the two collaborate and create a digital bank, or some banks do it themselves and create a
Right.
digital, like my bank in Iowa is creating a digital branch essentially, and like many banks have. But this allows small banks to community banks to compete with the big guys. So that's something interesting that's happening. The other thing I would like to mention, I would really like people to get behind this idea of this Vegas banking zone, the VBZ, as I call it, Monaco West. And so I've got more and more people. I want to develop buzz around this. Imagine like that as a way to diversify the Vegas economy. And gaming and banking actually go together quite well. A lot of people don't know this, but UBS, one of the largest banks in the world, they got their start 100 plus years ago, largely because of Monte Carlo and Monaco. So their proximity, they're the closest bank, and so banking and gaming. And think about it. I mean, gaming resorts attract a lot of wealth, and people want more private banking services. So I really am passionate. I'm a passionate advocate. I'm going to be going to DC, and I'd like people to, find me and support BROK from that angle as well, so that we can advocate for more open banking systems, and it'll be hugely beneficial to Vegas. Imagine if Vegas became a new banking center, and I think it makes sense because we need to use technology, clean slate, and rethink how we do banking. In many ways, going back to the basics, like the origins of Swiss banking, where it was much simpler actually, and more aligned with my core values. And that's the last thing I'll state is core values that I have for every business that I've ever done, for every bank, for all of my different businesses. And I think a few years ago, I kind of boiled it down to 5 things. And they are: number 1, privacy; number 2, security; number 3, self-sovereignty. And by that, I mean freedom, property rights, freedom of speech, freedom. And I'll just leave it on the positive. That's what I'm for. And and community. And by community, I mean thinking globally, but then acting locally. So how can we make the world's banking system better? Think locally. Create a Vegas banking zone that I'll be advocating. And I've started reaching out to senators and the governor and the city managers, the crypto community, everyone, to talk about moving this idea forward of a Vegas banking zone. I've talked to Senator Tim Scott, the head of the Senate Banking Committee, and his office about this. And South Carolina might beat us. That's Tim Scott's jurisdiction if Vegas doesn't get behind this. So but I think we will, and it just makes sense and great for the economy. And then finally, the last thing is innovation. And by innovation, that goes along with freedom again. We need the freedom to be able to create. We don't want to be like Europe, where it is almost impossible to start up a new company these days, and because of all the regulation. So that's, so hopefully that aligns with your core values, others' core values. It doesn't matter. Those are our core values. So I'd like to be transparent about that. If that's what you're on board for, that's what we're all about. It's not just about health or wealth even. It's a little bit of ideology in there too, philosophically.
And 2 things came to mind just to ask real quick. Spock is a token. Do I have that right? Okay.
Yes.
And
it's a Solana token. Yeah.
And it is decentralized, correct?
It's decentralized. Yep. Great. So I could build a whole banking system a global banking system on that, those rails.
That's great. And that's the big thing I've read about. So, okay. I think that's all I have, unless you have anything else to add.
No, that's great.
For more information, visit brok.neobanx.com. Our sincere thanks to Neobanx Executive Chairman Ronald Ingram. Visit bizavjetsusa.com to view more of our issues and articles. Video capture and production by Step Media Group, Las Vegas, on behalf of Bizavjets USA Magazine.